What's going on, gamers? So yeah, we have some stuff to cover today. Freaking slept more than I could, but I had to catch up on sleep, man, due to like the stream last night and just everything. But yeah, man, we have a lot of misblaming and misunderstanding today. So let's go ahead and correct some stuff. Let's read into it. So Hazard posted something literally not too long ago, literally yesterday. Mass layoffs at Virtual Studios, right? The studio behind Oblivion Remaster, which we know Oblivion is a Elder Scrolls IP, but there's something to remember here. Virtual Studios has been doing IPs, for people. They've been doing the Metal Gear Solid, you know what I mean? And they were doing stuff before that. So they're independent, right? They're not owned. 300 positions, outsourcing specialists located in Asia, USA, Europe, and including 3 branches in France. So they all got let go. One thing too that I'm going to tell you is that them using the Unreal Engine 5, oh boy, I would have rather had the 4 because I would have had a flawless game to play at launch. It would have still been good. I'm going to tell you that's a big problem with that game, and just other things. So no, these developers are not necessarily innocent. So a game can sell millions of copies and people still get fired. State of gaming industry speaks for itself. Yeah. And then you have a lot of people blaming Microsoft for this because they thought that Microsoft owned them, which I kind of thought was funny. You got people like Dreamcast guy, and a couple other people as well. I'm like, yeah, but Microsoft owns Bethesda, not Virtuous. They handed that out to them, regardless of whether Microsoft would own them to not or not, and it would have been on multiple platforms, still selling what it sold. So it got what it got because of its nostalgia to an extent, and because they gave you a damn next gen remake. But the problem was is the Unreal Engine 5, and it wasn't finished, but they still released it. So yeah, that's Microsoft's fault. On top of Bethesda, but what's not their fault is them getting laid off. That's whoever's leading that company. Let's get this straight. So that's something to start off with, so we can remember this before we get into all this. All right, like, and subscribe. Here we go. So going down here on some comments, Virtuous has a total of 4,000 employees across the globe, mostly in China and Vietnam, rest in Europe. GD, wait, are they owned by Microsoft? This is the first guy that said it, right? He says no, an independent studio, because people just don't get that. Damn you, Xbox, Microsoft feel, and Series S. Now, he's being sarcastic, by the way, so I'm not going to attack this guy. I kind of just feel it. I think that's what he's saying. Damn, with Oblivion money coming in and Metal Gear Solid 3 money on the horizon, that they run out of contract work? No, that's just what they do. They fire people, they use them, and then they feed them to the AI. Yeah, we're going to find out. These guys probably did learn something from that strategy. We'll get into that in a second. Yeah, it gets very interesting. This would have not happened if they haven't worked with Microsoft. Interesting. It would have maybe, but not. But now it happened by Microsoft's fault. Yeah, I don't know about that. Konami. Well, see, look, that's like somebody blaming Konami and Microsoft. Well, if they didn't do their job and the people that were leading saw that the game is out, it's been buggy. I don't know, man. The one who was leading let them do that as well. So, oh wait, is that Orlando? Orlando? I think that is him. Nothing. I don't know if that is him or not, but I know somebody that likes Nintendo as well. Classic Xbox. If a game succeeds, people get laid off. Okay, so I understand what they're saying. I understand you guys are pissed about what Microsoft did recently, but one thing I have to tell you is that they didn't decide those decisions. Now, what could they have laid them up? Yeah, if they were with Microsoft, I would probably agree with you. Yes. So here we go again. Let's go to some more articles here. Mass layoffs are underway at Virtuous, the studio behind Oblivion Remaster. According to several sources, these layoffs will initially target China. Why would Microsoft target China? 200 people don't have anything there like that, but will also affect many other departments. Pony, sit down. Yeah, you didn't see that coming. Including the French studios responsible for the recent success, the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remasters. These are French studio, and there's firings going on in China. Does this kind of make sense? China, France. I mean, do we want to think about Ubisoft and a lot of other things? Communism? Yeah, I'm not going to get too much into it, but let me just tell you that I think you might want to think about that and not Microsoft. You know, I told you guys I used to expose a lot of stuff in the industry before I did this and got in the video game stuff. Oh yeah. So I know the real deal. Plus, not gonna say anything else. But anyways, Anything this MFR touches turns to S. This is the state of Xbox under Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer is the worst leader in gaming industry. Phil Spencer has closed 6 studios, canceled multiple games, fired 6,750 gaming employees. And some of this stuff right here, it cracks me up. Cancel games, keep personnel. Well, one thing about this guy is that what he's not understanding is that you have to factor in Microsoft to this equation. I think there's some things he wanted to do as a person that loved Xbox, a person that loved gaming, that he probably might want to do some of that stuff. But the thing is that he's not the leader in a sense of when I say something, it's finalized through me and nothing up above me in the Microsoft corporation outside of Xbox. Oh yeah, he's definitely made mistakes. You know what I mean? I've told you, I've said what I said about Phil. I still like Phil, you know what I mean, in a lot of ways, because I have the seerability and have the empathetic ability to be able to see past all that and look deep into him and be like, inside of there, yeah, there's a person that cares. You know what I mean? But can that person that cares really have authority after everything that's happened? That's pointless. He knows that. So you got to bury that stuff and do what needs to be done. He worked his whole life for that job. He's going to do whatever it takes to keep that. Yeah, he's going to, you know what I mean? Yeah, there's going to be some things you don't like. But you have to remember the head, it's like I told people, the head is the one that ultimately has to make that decision since he's the head. Man is always the head, you know what I mean? And the head outside of him who's running Microsoft, whatever they say, and along with those other people that are telling him what to do, the answers come down like that all the way back to the scapegoat, if you get what I mean. And he's going to be the one that takes everything because that's the face people are used to seeing. You know what I mean? So my thing about this, and you know me, I'm not kissing her ass defending. I'm just being genuine. He can only do so much. I'm telling you, if you replaced Phil even a while ago, it wouldn't be much better. You have to understand this industry is tough, and yeah, it didn't even have much room for mistakes. And even when you don't make mistakes, yeah, it's like that. So yeah, I mean, you're not gonna. You got to remember. You got to remember, it's not just him. There's a lot of other hands at play. That's how this stuff works now. It's not simple like it used to be back then. And even then, it wasn't. But I'm saying it's a lot more complicated when other principalities get involved. Just saying. Hopefully, those responsible for censorship will be laid off. The game is good. I'm not gonna cry about nobody removing something right there, bro. I mean, you ain't got no woman or something. You can't. You need that on the screen. Like, guys, this to me is not that big of a deal compared to ruining a game like Dragon Age or Assassin's Creed because I wanted a ninja game, a Japanese ninja game. That's different when you like mess up the whole writing, the whole lore, everything. You just screwed the whole damn game up. Okay, now I'm mad. That's why I was mad at Assassin's Creed. That's why I was mad at Dragon Age because I love the Dragon Age series. This is not really a problem to me. I understand some people care about their censorship. I get it. I'm not saying you're wrong for that, but if the game is good, I'm not finna sit there and say because you moved this little piece of clothing in my game, I'm missing out on the whole experience that I'm there for. First and foremost, I'm here to play a really good video game. If that's what I get, I don't give a damn about that petty nonsense. I ain't no female and I ain't feminine about it. You know what I mean? That type of stuff to me is something that I think a woman should care about. I don't think no man should be sitting there crying about no stuff like that. That's me though. Didn't Oblivion remaster sell over 4 million copies? So this is the thing, guys. You see how successful this game is, right? But like I told you, it doesn't matter if you got the talent. Get your ass on. Thanks for giving my AI that talent. You ready? Mass layoffs at Virtuous, the studio behind Oblivion remaster and Metal Gear Solid 5. 300 jobs are being cut, including key teams in France. Oblivion reportedly went over budget. Now we're getting more answers. This is why you want to look at different angles. I like Smash JT too. I've talked to him before. He subbed to me on YouTube. I'm subbed to him. We used to expose a lot of stuff. He's a cool dude. Down to earth guy. Doesn't really cross the line. Some of those other people, yeah, they probably went a little bit too far. Smash doesn't really do that. I'm a huge fan. Also, people probably don't like some of that stuff, but it just depends. Like I said, me, I'm getting the devilry out. That's what I care about. All that other stuff, I'm like, y'all gotta relax because you're looking at it the wrong way. Okay, and now Metal Gear devs are being gutted too. I do not like victimization because that you don't understand how dangerous that is. Telling you, it's more dangerous than open racism. Meanwhile, similar to what we heard Microsoft doing to King, Virtuous is pivoting to AI as well. Guys, so Smash just gave us some critical information here. They're pivoting to AI. Right? It went over budget. There was no royalties. So we know who's pissed now. We got some answers. This right here gave us a lot of answers. And after that, they're going to AI. Let me tell you something about this AI also, of why people are also using this. This leads back to more greed. Of course, the 7 deadly sins doesn't surprise me. I'll tell you something about the blood AI. Only reason they're using this like this is so they can keep on making more money and more profit. Yeah, corporations that have trillions of dollars. I'm just saying, and multi-billions of dollars are probably heading towards that. You see the biggest companies in the world, what are they leading? NVIDIA, Google, Microsoft, all AI. You see? Artificial, not organic. They want to replace organic, artificial. I mean, food bin told you that. Telling y'all, man, wake up. They probably sack the people that were helping to make AI work. That's what I mean. You're being sacrificed for the AI. Oh man, that. You see, I don't care who. If Nintendo's doing the same thing, I'm slamming. You know what I mean? Because that's why I do. That's why I love them, guys. I'm telling you, man. You don't understand how important it is to say I'm not laying you off, man. Like, man, just like a while, like, no, cut my salary. And I found out Miyamoto cut his salary. Cut it down. Even if it's a couple hundred, they didn't care. Because that whole team together, they knew, no, we're not losing a single person. This whole thing together forms this light that's bright. Understand this metaphor. When you see that, that's how you know the creator's there. That's how you know that light is there. And they're going to give you some amazing stuff. Because that light is saying that, you know, they care about the people, they care about their life. They're like, that to them is the value. So that's a growing process. That process will be successful. You know what I mean? It's not going to be corporate and just some agents in there and profit. You know what I mean? No, it's a lot more than that. It's actually a family that cares about its people. It is willing to say, man, even if you are making 2 million, these motherfuckers be making 20, 30, 40 million, bro. You have so much money in life that you're fine all the way to the grave. And this is what I mean by, like, greed makes people so retarded. It's insane. Some of them make multi-million a year. Nobody in that company is going to hurt by letting those people stay there and just make that a little bit of chump change. It ain't nothing to them. They're doing it because they want to do it and because it's evil. And if you can't see that, I don't know what to tell you. Because I get to the point to where I get tired with sheep and brain dead people that are just unconscious, that get mad that you want to cover this type of stuff as like, so you want me to just positively glaze for the corporations all day and not expose everything? Man, that's a little bit crazy. All right, so we got some answers on this, right? Let's start it off here.
Of tweets in French basically saying, hey, yep, everybody in Europe, we've all just been laid off. Now, this to me, some people are trying to say, oh, this isn't technically related to Xbox. It's a separate studio. It's not really under the Xbox umbrella. To me,
it's not, because they're working on Metal Gear Solid 3. Dreamcast guy. It's all about the right information with me. You guys know I don't hate Xbox. I typed that too fast. Virtuos. Okay, Virtual Studios. Let's just take a look at the game list. BioShock the Collection, Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, and Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. Remaster and Port Studio. So you see what I mean here? What does Final Fantasy have to do with Microsoft? What does BioShock have to do with Microsoft? And what does Metal Gear have to do with Microsoft? The only reason this is included in it is because they bought Bethesda. But I promise you, yeah, could there have been some influence there? Because they're following the same thing that Microsoft's doing? Well, it's an industry thing. I tell you guys all the time, look for the industry. Look who they choose first to lead an industry for these type of situations, and you'll see what they want to push.
This is what I call downstream business, where it's obvious that Virtuous was probably expecting to get a bunch of work from Microsoft, and for whatever reason, this game didn't sell enough, or they just didn't hit.
It was fine. You released a broken product. I don't feel sorry for you, but I still don't like layoffs, obviously, because you still got the success. Because it wasn't about that. No, they got their money. They got theirs. You know what I mean? And then they're like, get out. You know what I mean? Or get the hell out. You know what I mean? Don't listen. Get out. You know what I mean? That's how they are. Get out. Like security, whatever they got to bring. Or if you don't take that little nice vacation, right? If they got the money to do that, but which they do.
Hit their sales metrics internally, they're saying, okay, we're not remastering anything else, even though there's talks that they were trying to do maybe some sort of remasters, something like, I don't know, Fallout 3. Maybe they're saying, oh, sorry, Virtuous, no, we can't afford it anymore. Even though we make trillions of dollars, we don't want your help, even though you clearly know what the hell you're doing.
But it's not related to Microsoft, Dreamcast guy. The only thing is they worked recently together and you see something similar happening. So that makes you want to say that. And I get it. You know what I mean? I don't blame people for thinking like that. That's what Microsoft, that's what they have done to people psychologically. You know what I mean? And that's not good, but they're not to blame here for that. You got to blame somebody for something that's their blame. And that's my thing here. So, we were correcting here. Pony, sit down. I want to hear it.
Firing Virtuous is such a baffling decision because they're amazing. Oblivion Remaster is perfect. I will
we got to do that. Slap some stars into him. Why? Boy, you know how buggy that was? That thing was running 30 frames a second on my damn high-end gaming with DLSS, all that on mods. It was a broken mess, bro. Crashing, having so many problems. What you mean perfect? The hell is wrong with you? No.
The hell, die on that hill. This game is perfect, and yet you're firing everybody. And it's called Downstream.
Dude, this guy, bro, what's wrong with you? You know what perfect is? Let's just pull up something real quick. Metacritic, right? Dreamcast guy, I want to help you out here. This thing has an 80 Metacritic, bro. On PC. With the many reviews. 7.6 because people are coming in and like it. But honestly, no, bro. That's not perfect. What do you mean that's far from perfect? The creator is perfect. I don't know what you're talking about. Does this guy know what perfect is? Not even close to perfect. That would have had to be like 96, 97, 90, you know what I mean? No issues. I'm like, man, this thing here is close to perfection as it gets. You know what I mean? What the hell is wrong with you?
In the fact that, like, to make an analogy, I used to be in the book business for a long time, and we had a company that worked only with our company, or almost exclusively with our company, that sold bookmarks. They had a big warehouse, they printed all these bookmarks, they sent it to all our stores, right? Well, as our business started doing worse, as people started buying books less, we started ordering less of those bookmarks, and they ended up having to shut down. It's the way it goes, right? Hey, if you're our exclusive supplier, if you're our exclusive distributor, if you're the person that's paying us money, we exist as long as you exist. If you stop paying us, we go instant bankrupt. I think that's the way it's happening with a lot of this stuff, where it's, all right, we are paying you to make Fallout 3 Anniversary is what the rumor the project's going to be. There's rumors they're trying to do a Fallout New Vegas remake. I think there was a 90% chance that's what Virtuous would have been working on next, and now they're just fired. Sorry, even though the game was popular and great and fantastic and everybody bought it, it was the top selling game on PlayStation.
Dreamcast guy, it was for a little bit, but it stopped because everybody remembered how good that was, but it didn't deliver that. It was disappointing. Had a huge drop off. That's why I just recently released that update. Look how long it took to do that. You had to wait that long, but there was other stuff out. So you know what I mean? Yeah, I was disappointed because I'm like, why again with the Unreal Engine 5? No, far from perfect. Like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you guys think. This is not Microsoft's fault. Boy, I tell you, these people. Later, y'all. Have a good day.